Hey guys, Illy here, and this time I wanted to talk to you about lights in ranked battles. Maybe it's a little bit too late, but I've made it to rank 15 in lights, so I've collected some experience there, and I wrote down some advantages and disadvantages, and I'm pretty sure this video will also be applicable for the coming seasons. I don't think things will change a lot. So we're going to start with disadvantages because there are plenty of them, and the first one is the map pool. Not all maps are present in ranked battles, and most maps which are there are either closed, or there is another problem: the teams play them differently than in randoms. I mean, if you play from rank 1 through say 6, 7, 8, then you won't see much difference from randoms, maybe through 5 at most, yeah. But after rank 10, the setups of the teams change significantly, and the maps are also played differently because there are more experienced players, and you can see like top 10 badges everywhere. And then the teams just play the only flank. There are like 15 tanks, and almost all of them go to the single flank. Like in Malinovka, everyone goes to the hill, and you're just trying to do something, you know, somewhere. Because you don't spend much, so that is another problem. You don't have enough penetration, and everyone around is accurate. There are like a lot of tanks with good gun handling. So overall, playing ranked in a light is not very comfortable. So the map pool is a problem. Then the tanks that you see there, it is another problem because there are like super conquerors, a lot of Soviet mediums. You don't even see many bad shots there. I mean, the Batchat is just such a classic tank, which is always there, which is considered cool. You don't see many Batchats there because there are just 140s, 430U, and, well, 907, of course. Right, so the team all gathers up in one flank on every map, or almost every map, the flank which is considered more important by most players. And then when they fight there, like 50 meters from one another, you can't do anything there. So when you get to Malinovka, you're actually in a light, which would normally be like, oh yeah, that's my moment. In real life, in real ranked battles, it's actually oh shit. And you would prefer some other map to that because you know that you won't be able to spot anyone because nobody cares and nobody to spot. So when it comes to playing lights in ranked, you can hardly damage because, well, it's very tricky. You need to penetrate. You either load a lot of gold, well, not in T100 but in some other lights, because, you know, penetrating angled armor of all kinds of 140s and super conquerors, that's tricky with the standard rounds. Probably even not really possible, but not reliable. You get hit very easily and you die very quickly, so a single mistake costs you, well, all your HP. Yeah, if you just get spotted somewhere, you can be killed in 3 seconds, and that's totally normal. Then the spotting is not really needed because maps are just mainly not good for spotting, and because the teams just don't need a spotter there. They don't need a scout. So then there is only one last thing that the light can do there. It's tracking. You try to find some opportunities to track someone. You go here, you go there, and you know, like this is all very hard, and it all feels like you're trying to be effective despite everything. So all in all, playing lights in ranked is suffering. So when you look at the higher ranks, from rank 10, 12 and higher, then you'll notice that there are almost no lights. The whole team consists of, there are like 7 heavies, 7 mediums, and you in a light, well, me. Or maybe no light, and maybe 1 RT. And there can be like 1 tank destroyer or so. Everyone is a heavy and a medium, everyone has armor, everyone has DPM, and everyone has good gun handling. So it's extremely hard to play there. And since we're talking about tracking, which can be effective, which is one of the few things you can be good at, then we can immediately see that there is only T100, which is competitive there, or maybe AMX 13105, which can double track with its magazine. And it really makes a huge difference, I mean the reload of T100 and the magazine of MX 13105, because all other lights, the Chinese, well, its gun is just so uncomfortable and unreliable. Then the Panzerwagen is all extremely uncomfortable. And even Sheridan, which is a good damage dealer, which has good gun handling, it's still too huge, it just dies very quickly. So if you want to play lights in ranked, I don't recommend you playing the Chinese, the German and the American light. And well, if you better have Soviet, and then it's possible to get to higher ranks. But if you look at my average damage there, like you will laugh, because my average damage, and I was playing only lights, mainly T100 and some 13105 as my second light in there. My average damage in ranked was 1150. That's tier 6 damage. That's just because how things work there. You can't do much more than that. You will go through ranks because you will always be the last survivor of the team. You won't lose Chevron very often because you're quick, so you're last to die, you still do some damage, you do some spotting, and it's a good point about it. But the overall effectiveness of light and everything else that comes with it, the team tactics and the team setups, they all suggest that the lights are not needed. So the good thing is that it's challenging, but it's interesting. It doesn't count into your overall stats, so you don't feel that pressure on you, and like you can try different things there, and you can actually use it as a training. If you don't mind that you will sometimes lose chevrons, then if you try something new, then you can use it as a skill training, and in that sense it's pretty good. So it is possible to get to higher ranks in the light, but if and only if you are very confident in lights. It's very challenging, and for most players who have tier 10 lights, it's just bad. It will be bad. So overall, playing lights in ranked is just overcoming, beating all the odds, and then making it through despite everything. So leave your opinion about it in the comments if you tried to play lights in ranked, and thank you for watching, guys. See you in the next videos.